And maybe we don't have a video. Casey, could you act out a video? Well,
Realize how important strategy is in our business, but what's more important is culture. One of our favorite sayings is culture eats strategy for lunch. It's a really good thing when you have both.
At the end of the day, it's the people and the values. That doesn't happen by accident.
I actually really genuinely enjoy all the people that I work with.
It's a lot of positive-minded people that have big goals, big visions.
The founders of the company elevate the starting agents, the brand new agents. We feel like we're on top of the world, working alongside some of the most successful people in the industry.
If I was making a mere fraction of the income that I was making, I would still stay here, because I don't know of this many people who all love what they do.
We believe in hard work, we believe in smart work, but we also believe in balance.
we also want you to be a part of something really special, to have, a culture that promotes making an impact,
Personal growth.
personal growth. I think it's the main reason that we've been recognized by Inc. 5000 as being one of the fastest growing companies in the country.
Right.
The last 6 years.
That's right. And don't forget, Top Company Culture by Entrepreneur Magazine.
That's right.
We've always said we're a leadership development company, and this is particularly true for the field force and for the agents.
This career has offered me more personal growth than any other career that I was ever in, and I was in education, so that speaks volumes.
I've become a better man, a better person, a better father, a better friend.
Everybody's willing to share, whether that is knowledge, whether that is charities, helping to impact the community. We are always looking to help and impact from the inside out, and that makes a big difference.
The company's been able to donate almost $2 million over the last 5 years. We're very, very proud of that number, but we're also extremely proud about the fact that we do more than just writing a check. We've been able to plug in to our communities by painting schools, gardening. We've been able to help build houses for Habitat, and there's no plans to slow down. We have so much more to give.
I feel like it's our responsibility, as a successful company, to give back to the community and to try to make a positive impact on all the communities where we're represented.
Yep.
The culture here is why I love what we do.
And that's what makes us, I think, the best company on the planet.
On the planet, Melissa.
I love it and I agree.
I agree. We're a little biased, but whatever.
You're right. That's fair. Man, we got a good one for you today. We've got Ashley Tarr, Tyler Harris, Jordan Shank, Summer Friesen, Eleanor Jansen, maybe even more people. That's who I have on my list. Ashley, Tyler, maybe you can unveil for a second and give us a sneak peek of what's to come.
Hey guys.
How's it going?
What's up? Yeah, this is going to be a fun one. We don't have more people than that. We figured 5 was enough.
All right, good.
just take over the call. Yeah, we're going to be talking about how to run up the score, and particularly focusing on the mind of a champion. What does the mind of a winner look like? Because we all know this business is won and lost between the ears, but we wanted to actually dive into some really specific ways that we can not just admire the mindsets of other people, but actually train ourselves to incorporate certain mindsets into our lives and into our businesses. So I'm excited about it. Fired up. I get to do it with some of my very favorite people.
I love it.
Awesome.
Love it. Well, we have some announcements as usual. We've got some numbers as usual, and we'll come right back to you guys because it's going to be a good one. It's been kind of a rough week, Casey, as everybody knows, and we've gotten some questions certainly on a memorial service for Matt and his family coming up this weekend, and I think Spivey can hop on and unveil real quick and let us know some of those details. I know we're going to have everything on social media as well, but Mr. Spivey.
Yeah, but we're going to get that out on social media and get everything posted. So if you don't get it all now, fully understand. But For those attending in person, the service for Matt Smith will be held this Sunday, September 26th at 3 p.m. Eastern. The family will start receiving guests at 2 p.m. Eastern. The service will be followed by a potluck dinner with the family on the grounds. If you'd like to join for that, please bring a covered dish. When you do arrive, it's going to be at Camp Rockmont, and I'll give you all the address and everything here in just a second. Rummy's asking that everybody please park in the soccer fields and walk up towards the lake. Anybody with mobility issues can drive up the road a bit further to the main entrance, but for those that are able, please park out in the soccer fields and walk up so that we can have plenty of space. And if you're arriving by Uber, Lyft, car service, something like that, please have the driver pull to the main entrance and drop you off at the tennis courts. We'll have a map out there on social media, of course, for Camp Rockmont. The address for Camp Rockmont is 375 Lake Eden Road, Black Mountain, North Carolina, 28711. So again, that's 375 Lake Eden Road, Black Mountain, North Carolina. The families asked that everybody just dress business casual. Due to the ongoing pandemic, of course, that we will all be wearing masks. We ask everybody to wear a mask, and as long as you're not eating or drinking, just go ahead and mask up. And if we do have some bad weather that day, we'll host the memorial in the indoor basketball area on the same grounds. I guess the indoor basketball area is better known for us as Battle Dodgeball Arena from the past. But so in lieu of flowers, guys, we've set up a scholarship fund for Matthew's daughters and his charitable work. So you can use the link that we'll share to you all on social media here in just a bit. But please do donate to that wonderful cause to support his daughters and his ongoing love for charity. For those attending virtually, we know not everybody can make it to Asheville last minute. We encourage everybody to stay at home if they're not feeling well, of course, but we want everybody to be able to participate. So if you would like to attend virtually, again, same time, it'll start at 3 p.m. Eastern. The Zoom will go live at about 2:30. You'll be able to see some slideshows and some nice pictures and memories of Matt. And once again, we'll get that Zoom link out to everybody on social media. I'll make sure Joe and his wonderful marketing team, it'll be on all social media platforms, and we'll get a little note on HQ so that everybody can find the Zoom link and be able to log in pretty easy. So yeah, that's it, guys. And we're heart goes out to those that were all so close to him. It felt like he was pretty much close to everybody here at this company. And I know I got a chance to spend a few minutes talking with Brad yesterday, and just the strength of that family and the way that Matt's being honored and the way that everybody's focused on him now, like continuing the legacy that he built, just really resonated with me. And the strength that I saw in Brad and who he is being in this moment right now for his family, for his organization is amazing and not surprising, I know, to you, Brandon or Casey.
Yeah. Well said, man.
Thanks, Todd. Appreciate that, buddy. All right, Mr. Watkins, let us hit some numbers.
Speaking of numbers,
announcements.
Big old week last week. I think we're going to see a lot of record weeks coming.
I agree. And I just wanted to remind everyone that this is the last official week. Friday marks the end of our production week for September. So starting a 5-week turn-in next week. Gear up. Make it a good one, because it's going to be a dandy. First-time writers for the week. Number 1 was Vanessa Ferris with $3,600. Production-wise, number 1 was Jean Estill with $36,829. Nice. Nicely done. Number one on the app count board is Jennifer Giovanni with 29 applications. Might need to be nursing that hand. I bet she's got it under ice. That's a lot of typing.
Yeah, I got some
Hopefully
carpal
not
tunnel
writing
happening there, Jennifer.
Hopefully not writing. Yeah. Get you a DI policy in case you get some carpal tunnel. Top Medicare SUP producer was Michael Ferguson with 1,500. The number one disability producer was Shanna Thompson Heggie, $7,000. Well done. Top IUL producer for the week, Julio, I'm assuming Morlos, might be a misspelling there, or it's Juilo. Either way, I apologize for probably butchering both of those. Top annuity for the week, Anthony Mendocino, $342,000, 343, really. A lot of DFL being written out there.
Brandon,
right now.
We got an update on this DFL too, buddy.
Yeah,
got Resma out there wanting to join us to give you a little quick snippet of some cool stuff happening.
All right, let's hear it. What you got?
So real quick, want to give a shout out to Todd Schuchart here. And for those of you who missed the DFL webinar yesterday, highly advise if you're on these DFL leads or even just in DFL in general, go back and watch that because we officially launched the loan servicing department yesterday. It is live. So now you guys have support, making sure that all these clients follow through on these loans and that we continue to change their financial future, get them into financial freedom for themselves. So that launched yesterday. So we walked through that process. But we also highlighted Todd Schuchart because he's on the DFL leads. He did the boot camp, the live boot camp last month. He started taking leads a couple of weeks ago. And last week, he wrote 3 out of 4 presentations off of those DFL leads with an average case size of $650. And we went through his method of getting a hold of them because, you know, when you're working in a digital lead environment, they're a little bit different than like a mortgage protection lead where there was a trigger that happened with a purchase or a refinance, you know, a triggering event for them. And maybe people are answering the phone more on mortgage protection leads, but these digital leads and these digital platforms have all opted in. So Todd started text messaging in them and we went through all the different text messages that he was using to get these appointments. So he's generating these appointments through text and he actually set up 11 appointments yesterday alone off of these DFL leads through text messages. He wrote 2 already this week, 1 off of a referral from the previous ones, another one this morning from the DFL leads for $1,000 a month. And he's completely booked through this week with DFL appointments. These digital leads, what we're finding, the text messages working. We sent out an email to all the people on the DFL leads yesterday with some best practices. And we're also gonna we've got all the pictures from Todd's text messages and what he's been doing. And we're sending all of that stuff out within the next 24 hours to all the people on the DFL lead. So the text message is working, setting up 11 appointments in one day, Todd. Absolutely amazing, and sales process is working. So work on those text messages, read that email, watch the DFL webinar from yesterday. An additional email will be going out within the next 24 hours on pictures of all the different threads that he was using. And one more thing for those, for agents that want to get certified with DFL, the end of next week, we are launching the on-demand certification course through Quility U. So instead of being in person for 2 days or on Zoom for 2 days, you can plan out your coursework and your study work. You can do 3 courses one day, 3 courses another day, get certified so that you can still do your activity with building your organizations, helping out families, and get certified when your time and schedule permits. So a lot of great stuff coming down the pipe, you guys. Great job, Todd, with taking the lead with those DFL leads and identifying different ways to get a hold of them. And all that information is going out to DFL Nation within the next 24 hours. So great job, everybody. We're just getting started.
Yeah, buddy.
I love it.
Smoking it.
Yep.
Smoking it, Resma.
I don't know about you, Casey, but it sure is good to have Resma back in the old office.
I agree.
We were lacking a little energy.
I was quiet around here for a while.
I know. I was going stir crazy. I'm doing half days right now to go back and help out my mom because she can't take care of the kids full time while Amanda's gone and taking care of her dad's situation that happened. Unfortunately, we lost him last week as well. So thank you for everybody that's reached out. But yeah, glad to be back, man, and excited to get things going. We got some great things happening with DFL.
Thank you, buddy. Yeah, our definitely hearts with your family and your wife's family. I know that's God, there's way too much of that going on right now, buddy. All right. Recruits for the week. Chris Cook has the top base shop. Jacob Pogue, Brian Delaney, Miranda Martin, all with a ton of direct recruits. I see you, Ian Graham. Look at Marshall Whalen over there, building the old base. He's going to blow it up, Casey.
Right.
Too shabby. Top base shop licensed recruits was Eric Andrick with 4. Whalen and Tarr both with 3. Jacob Pogue with 11 in his direct organization, with Delaney and Carl Miller both 10. New writers, Melissa Weigel, number 1 with 3. Mike and Jennifer Colburn tied with the Godfather, Tony Capistrano, with 5 new writers for the week. And here's a slew of seasoned new agents, Casey. Amber Vasquez, Christina Hurt, Daryl Lee Hughes, Amaziah Everwine, Evan Dornbreyer, Jacqueline Scully, Jordan Oliveras, Carrie Wadsworth, Michelle Kathleen McLeod, Shanna Thompson Heggie, Shay Rivera, and Warren Lockey. Well done, everybody. Well done. Top key leader for the week was Aaron Farron with $22,000. Top agency owner, I heard John Paul Vetter is crazy good in front of a microphone too. Have you heard that? We missed the speech, but I heard at a conference he just freaking killed it. Well done, JP. Top agency directors, Larry and Ann Griffin with $141,000. Top rad is Eileen Balmer with $182,000. Good job, everybody. Top MVP, George and Janet Matthews, just edging out Scott Summers, $101,170. Top senior vice president, Kyle and Lisa Kimbrell. Well done. Top executive vice president, Mr. Carl Miller. Look how close it is between Carl and Miranda.
Nice.
Top associate partner, Mr. Lynn Watkins, 745. Is that a record week? I need to hear from Lynn. That's a big week.
That is a good week.
That is a big one, buddy. Top senior partner. Good to see Pritchett back up there in the high 9s, mid 9s. Look how close that one was. Woo! Yeah. Way to go, Marshall Whalen. $946,763 makes you the top managing partner and top overall agency for the week. Top direct for the week, Mr. Pritchett, $189,414. Purdy's still up there too after breaking out.
Right.
2 directs. He's killing it.
Awesome.
That's great. I see all these directs are great to see. And top base shop, Dan Miller. You want to talk about close? Look at Melissa Weigle's numbers: 49,468 to 49,477. Dan got you this week, Melissa. That's all you can say. Well done, everybody. Got some big numbers. I bet we're about to see. Look at these bonuses. $715,000 paid out just in the equity bonus and the 120 bonus. I mean, $133,000.
That's a bonus. That's, for anyone new on the phone, that's in addition to all the carrier commissions that are being paid out to the team. So,
and he just had 5 base shop recruits this week.
Yep.
$107,000. Lynn Watkins with $75,000. Look at Brad Smith's $51,000.
Yeah.
Can go down this list, man. It's all just bonuses. Chris Cook, number 1 on the capital bonus side, just shy of $3,000. And the top producer bonus was Mr. Jeremy Whitaker, $2,160 for a grand total of $819,273 in bonuses. Year to date, just shy of $7 million. Have I told you lately how much I love the insurance industry?
Yes, sir.
It's crazy. 1 minute demographic survey. Excuse me if I'm having to read all these. This is the first time I'm looking at this along with all of you guys because we've been in meetings all morning. You received it this morning. Yes, you did. Right now. It says right now. You think they should do it like right now? That's what it says. Do it right now. Go to your email. As I'm reading this announcement, open the email, complete that survey immediately. We need you to, unless you're driving. Don't do it then. Price of. Do you know what that is, Brian Williamson? Do you want to shed a little light on what that is?
You did it. You did it so well. I would just simply add that the reason for filling that out is so we can see more of you up on that bonus board and leaderboard by providing better data. And you will regret it if you don't do it this week because the window's closing. This is the last quick survey we're doing before our big rollout of our Quality People Insights platform. So I promise you, some of you are going to come to me in 2 weeks and go, gosh, if I would have had that information, it would have been so valuable. So agency owners, leaders, get your people to knock this thing out. And I'm excited for the launch of QPI next month.
We are too. Thank you, sir. Price of owners packs and single tickets are going up Sunday. It's 9/26. Altitude pricing is over. Those days are behind us. Current price is $15.99 for an owner's pack. That's 10 tickets or $179 for a single ticket. Make sure to check with your manager first. Okay, so you can fill out to get those owner packs sold. Pricing is going to go up again later on, so just keep an eye on that. Slingshot to Denver. Here's a reminder for you, Casey. Similar to our normal promotion guidelines, no more than 50% of the required premium for a promotion can come from a single leg of downline business.
Yep.
Staying standard. Tomorrow, we've got Scott Summers with Brett Diamond, Deborah Woods, and Steve Bender, Managing versus Mentoring, the Tale of Three, Part 2.
Part 2.
Because I know why that is, because we accidentally hung up on him at the home office in the middle of, or at the end, because I think he was going.
He was role
part of his
playing
speech.
so well.
Yeah.
We literally thought he meant that he was telling us all that he'll see us next week.
That was our bad. I was like, I don't know what happened. So if you missed that, jump on. And if you didn't, jump on. You're going to love it. FE training again on Thursday. We've got Monday sales training by the Mank Agency, which is bound to be good. And then next Tuesday, we got DFLIVIN, DFLIVIN. Thanks, what we'll call that, with Mr. Mike Resma. All right, Spivey.
Actually,
Mendocino.
Anthony, if you'll hold on 1 second, Anthony, I can't wait to talk to you, buddy. Brandon, we're about to do something no man's ever done before.
Ooh.
It's really going to stress us out here. But last week, because of obviously understandable reasons, we did not go with our usual promotions. So we promised last Thursday that we wanted to do those today, because Brandon and Casey, as I told you all, are very selfish and they wouldn't let me do it because they wanted to do it themselves. So Brandon, what we're going to do real quick is you're going to quit sharing your screen.
Okay.
I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to drive and you're going to talk.
I get to talk while you drive?
Yes.
Okay.
You got your own driver now, Brandon.
It frees me up. I've always wanted my own driver. All right. Here we go. Elite producer Francisco Cornell. That's a big one. Well done. Top producer Brett Diamond, Matthew Johnson. Way to go.
Sound like a couple of wrestlers.
I know, Brett Diamond. I've always thought that. Team leaders, Andrew Welch, Edmund Johnson, Mark Jaff is what I'm going with, and Michelle Nord.
Nice.
Well done. Yeah.
Done.
Key leaders, Aaron Avedon. Look at all these key leaders. Brian Howell, Garlinda Price, Holly Jacobs, John Bryant, Mark Musaffer, Mason Van Meter, Marin Degafu, and Susan Tillison.
Very nice.
Way to go, key leaders. 3 new agency owners. Welcome to the game. We got Jeffrey Miller, Hader Istanbuli, and Sean the Boatman. Way to go, guys.
You watch Mr. Hader there. I've seen some things he's working on, and he might be in Joe's spot. He's going to be in and out of agency owner pretty quick.
I heard. Yep. That's the goal for all 3 of them.
There you go,
just
Joe.
like Joe. There you go.
He's out.
AO for 3 weeks, did he say?
He was
3 weeks.
AO for 3 weeks.
He worked for it for 2 years and only enjoyed it for 3 weeks.
Yep. It's
the only thing better than AO is, well, agency director. And the only thing better than agency directors, so forth and so on. Rad. Yep. Speaking of rad, Amy Fine and Jerry Cantrell.
Nice.
Well done, guys.
Boom.
Well done.
Awesome job.
There you go, Dave.
MVP. Look at the Cush. What a great picture, too, man. Well done, Kushner. I hope everybody at home is clapping. All right. I think that's all we need. I've hit these.
Good driving, good talking.
That was great driving.
Thank you.
Good job, guys.
Yeah.
Shit.
Yep.
I don't want that job anymore, though. I was very nervous.
Really?
Yeah.
You were fluid, man. It was all good. So we're gonna have our Mr. Mendocino on now?
Yes, sir. Mr. Mendocino. You join us, buddy. He's out there somewhere.
There we go.
Here I am. Thank you. How are you?
Do you prefer Anthony or Tony?
Usually Anthony.
Anthony. Got it. Anthony, we have this portal out there where we get agent spotlight recommendations, and I know your upline thinks a lot of you. Audrey said some really nice kind words, and your story really caught my attention because we spend a lot of time talking about opportunities here, and we've seen success stories where we've taken people that are not used to a lot of money and put them in a position to where they're financially free and in a place they never imagined. You and I come from a similar story, though. We're on the opposite side of that. You know, we came from a life where we had all the money in the world and we're absolutely broke on time and what it was doing to our family and our kids. So it caught my attention, buddy. Share a little bit about your story and where you come from.
Sure. Thank you. Thanks, Todd. I wanted to just say thank you to Brian, Brandon, and Casey for the opportunity. I appreciate it. I'm Anthony Mendocino, direct to Audrey Bobinger. I'm part of the Stubbs, Capistrano, Kimbrell, Tarr, Danny Young hierarchy. I just wanted to mention all those names because I'm very thankful for them. One way or another, they've had an impact in my career here. I spent the last 20 years in the seafood business. I was last position vice president of sales for my company. And that required me to take a lot of time away from my family, spent a lot of time traveling and on the road. With every promotion that I got, the equation of, time for money just started to work against me. So I just was looking for something different and got that call from Audrey. And, for the past 5 years of my last career, I was kind of pretty unhappy and just looking for a better opportunity.
I know that feeling, buddy. And you made a leap of faith and left well above six-figure income to come start over and build a new life. So what's the experience been? Got a lot of people on this call that maybe are in your spot, maybe that are considering making the move, or maybe they're part-time and they got their foot in two different worlds right now. What's something significant that you feel like is a piece of advice that helped you when you were making that decision?
There's a lot of advice. I mean, just plug in. The people here are great. The leadership here is great. Everyone wants you to succeed. I think one of the biggest things that has made an impact on me is just the core values, the willingness to share information, the fact that everyone wants you to succeed. And there's just great training here. So, I would say just plug into the system, plug into the calls. Try to work on yourself. Personal development is huge here. It's encouraged and celebrated here. In other companies, it's not. So these are all things that are going to make you a better person, and a better agent and do right by your client, et cetera.
Absolutely, buddy. And so now on the flip side, now that you've been here, what's time and money look like for Anthony these days? You getting to see those kids a little more?
Yeah, for sure. I get to, tuck my daughter in at night, drop her off at school. I get to be a present father. When I was vice president of my last company, I was living out of a suitcase. And if I did have time to spend with the family, a lot of times there would be a call come in, a meltdown, a fire to put out. So I get the opportunity here to be in control of my schedule. And, I get to earn an income, but then also get to enjoy the things that are important to me. So that's been the biggest benefit to my choice.
Special story, Anthony. You're changing lives, buddy. You're making a big impact in that hierarchy. And I've heard from all those leaders you rattled off about the excitement they have for what you're building, where your team's going, who you are as an individual, who you are as a leader. And man, we're just so grateful that you're a part of the Symmetry and Quality family, buddy, and look forward to hearing more from you here in the near future.
Thank you so much, guys. I appreciate it.
Yeah, buddy.
Thank you, man.
Thank you, man.
Proud of you, buddy.
Thank you.
Awesome. love hearing these stories, guys. There's nothing that warms our hearts more than that kind of stuff. You know, it fuels us. It fuels us so much. And it fuels your teams as well. Like when you guys are huddling up, get results on like that, you know, interview people like that. Man, there's so much energy in that. Good stuff.
Absolutely. Casey, we've gotten some questions.
Yes.
That I think you may have the answers to.
Where are those? Oh,
ears. Yeah. 2020 update.
I know ears are either went out or are getting ready to go out any minute. And I know
they are finalized. They've been finalized for a week, just kind of fine tooth combing it.
Yeah, it's a very, very highly kind of complex spreadsheet type system that we're using. Not a spreadsheet, but whatever it is that Mark is using there. It's highly complex the way we kind of analyze and look at it. So we really want to get them right every time. And love seeing too, you know, again, September was double production, but just looking at last year, Brandon, how much difference some of you guys made when you capitalized on the double production weeks or months that we had. There were plenty of you guys that kind of jumped up a category based on the same amount of volume you actually did next to someone next to you, but they didn't necessarily capitalize as much on those double production weeks or months. And so we had people definitely move up a category based on how they attack that double production stuff. So that's really cool. And also just wanted to let you guys know, like, there's some extremely exciting things going on behind the scenes around the capital raise. Things that, things that have kind of developed in some ways that we may not even kind of expected. We thought that they, some of these opportunities would kind of come, but we didn't know when and how and where, Brandon. But we're just on, we have a couple of really exciting things going on behind the scenes. And, as we've always said with ears, people want to know how much are they worth, and there's all kinds of questions around them, and it's really hard to kind of pinpoint that. We can kind of look at comps around the industry. Even that's a little bit tricky because there's so much, there's so many differences in the space that some of these competitors are in. But always getting questions around that, and we just, I don't think we can talk about it enough, Brandon. We probably don't. The biggest thing I think, we started with and will continue to say around our equity appreciation rights. And for those of you who are listening who are on the staff side of things for the O's, is that it really could look like a bunch of different things. And more than likely, it will be several bites of the apple along the way. So when people say, what does a triggering event mean? What does that actually look like? It could very well mean that there are multiple kind of triggering events over the next 3 to 5 years. And so, regardless, we're always going to kind of be analyzing what is the absolute best thing for you guys. And because the best thing for you guys is the best thing for the company. What incentivizes you guys to actually go out there and take advantage of it? So just exciting stuff going on there with ears. As we talked about on the builders call, there's so many exciting things going on behind the scenes. For the last couple of years, we've kind of been evolving our company, and we've moved to, in a way, I heard Brian Williamson use this terminology earlier in regard to something else, but we've really moved from an evolution of our company to a revolution of our company in the last month or so, as we've been building up all of this kind of innovation behind the scenes. And we're just now, Brandon, starting to unroll it at Quility level term, as an example, HQ and some of the functionality there. We're getting ready to kind of, again, continue to make massive investments on the technology front. Brian Pope is working like a madman behind the scenes with another bunch of products in the mix coming out. We're in a spot where we're really the only players in our space actually focusing on innovation. I'm sure there are a lot right now, Brandon, starting to try to focus on it, but we've got a 2-year head start in our eyes on a lot of this stuff. And so just hang on tight. It's going to be a fun ride together.
Absolutely, man. I want to get Pope to kind of weigh in on this and just give a little behind the scenes update on some of the things we're seeing. The numbers from Quility Term, as an example, have just, they're already blowing up. And what's crazy to me, and Pope, maybe you can kind of speak to this, but what's crazy to me is you have a more competitively priced product. A lot of people, the majority of people are qualifying not for elite, but a little better than standard. I think preferred. There's a few classes above there. Yet the average case size is still right where it is with the other ones, which I think says a lot about our salespeople.
Premium.
The average premium.
Yeah, the average premium.
Yeah, not case size, premium. You're right.
Yeah, the average. It's gone up. It's gone up a hair, but what's really cool is the average face amount's way over double. It's 2.5 times.
Man.
So that means we're getting 2.5 times the benefit for our customer with pretty much the same premium that we're used to. But what's really cool is the average time, as people are getting used to this, the average time from start of application till policy is in the client's email box is now hovering right below 9 minutes. So
9
literally
minutes.
from the time the application, yeah, and it's gonna get easier because people are still getting used to the process, right?
Yeah.
So again, the premiums pretty much where we've been for the last few years. The average face amount is right around 2.5.
Uh-oh, we lose Pope. He's got those mountain cell phone signal issues.
I know.
That happens.
It
happens to the best of us. Maybe Pope will come back on.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, sorry, I'm in the middle of town, so I don't know what the problem is. Sunspots. So ROP is about 5 weeks away. But we've got, and I'm telling everybody, you need to hop on this Quility Term thing because the people that are selling it are like, it's the easiest thing I've ever seen in my life. It just makes the sales process so much faster. And what's gonna come, and I know I've talked about this a little bit, is additional products are gonna start lining up here, and I'm not sure exactly what order they're gonna hit. But there's gonna be, DI, critical illness, and we're taking a little bit different approach to some of these things that's gonna make it really easy to sell. Okay, but these products are gonna come online, and it's gonna be one application. You're not gonna have to take, if you sell a term, with or without ROP, let's say a disability and an income product or a accident product, you do one app. You're still one application, one input, one application. Underwriting process is the same, even though you're selling 3 different products or 5 different products or 10 different products. It's one app, right? So that's really cool. And then in addition to that, we've got a team together and we're working on a sales platform that's going to be somewhat like DFL, but for mortgage protection, that's going to make it really smooth and easy to do all of what we do in a presentation. This is all designed to do 2 things: make our presentations faster, more effective, and deliver the policy to the client in literally minutes. So this is it's going to really change the way we do things, because you'll just be able to sell. It's going to free up so much time, all of this.
Yep.
So it's exciting.
Imagine being able to do one of the things we're most excited about, obviously, ease of issue, ease of process. Imagine being able to handle your writing and your delivery all in one sitting, virtually or in front of the client, and what that can do to kind of your referral machine that you're able to get.
Mm-hmm.
Next up, this is going to be coming to all of you that have your direct to consumer links. This will be here before you know it, right around the corner, so that while you're sitting with your client, you'll be able to email that link out so that you can handle referrals right away, or email it to the client and let the client send it to their warm market.
Yep.
Right. So that it's coming from someone they know. Really excited about this, where these Quility suite of products will be this time next year, Pope. That's really exciting.
Yeah, and here's the other thing is there's going to be a press release coming out, right? Where we're announcing the quality term, because it's going to turn the industry upside down. I'm telling you, I'm talking to carriers about these additional products, and they're blown away by it, right? Yep. And we want everybody to share that press release. So when you get that press release, go on social media, blast it to the world. It's a good message. So
look on our social media so that you can copy the link, send it out to everyone you know, make sure that everybody sees it. Casey, you mentioned, I think it was on the last call, that we're just the press release without you guys sharing it will have a viewership of around 2 million people. This is the first of many, many press releases that are going to be coming out that are only going to continue to help your recruiting efforts.
Going to be a barrage of press releases for a while. So hang on tight. It's going to help client. It's going to help agent recruiting. It's just,
Right now, go to the SFG Facebook page, Symmetry's Facebook page, and you can see the press release. You can copy that. You can share it with everyone, either on Facebook or email or any social media that you use. Those of you that don't use social media, I don't know, send it out via courier pigeon or something. There's all kind of ways we can share it.
Press releases, by the way, are going to be managed by a amazing, really global PR firm that we've brought on with us. And, so it'll be hitting very large news outlets and stuff like that too, which is really exciting.
Yep.
Well, and the other thing that's kind of interesting is we're starting to get calls from the all kinds of people who are like, they've found out about it, and they're like, the select quotes and the companies that are out there doing the direct consumer thing, because they don't have this. Like they all say they say they do.
They do. Yeah, they don't have it,
but they don't. Now they're calling us and saying, "Can we please have access to this product?" So you guys have to understand this one. We are the only true, real instant underwriting, instant issue term product in the market that's actually fully underwritten and extremely competitive. I mean, this is as competitive as NLG and them. We're the only ones that have that. All the rest of them don't. They say they do and they don't. So it's getting a lot of attention, and it's going to get a lot more attention, because what's going to happen is this is going to really, really give you guys an opportunity to recruit away from competition and in the marketplace in general, because we're going to have products that are like make life 10 times easier on the agent and the customer. The customer journey and the agent experience and journey is going to be drastically different because of this stuff.
Yeah, you can begin to see it coming together as an entire platform, not just a suite of products, but an entire platform where it's almost like you're ordering a Domino's pizza, Pope. And do you want to add cheesy bread onto this? Do you want to add, I don't know what else Domino's pizza offers, pop, something like that?
Yeah, it's going to be and what'll happen is in the way we're designing this stuff is going to make it really easy to add additional products without driving the premium through the roof. Right. And so what that'll do for all of you is it'll make you, because it's going to all be one platform, one sales platform, one application and underwriting platform, is you can add, like some DI for $25 a month. You can add some accidental death for $15 a month. And then you can add some critical illness to cover people's, like their deductibles on their health plans. Because look, people don't necessarily need $100,000 if they have a heart attack. What they really need is like 10 or 15,000 to cover their deductibles on their health plans, right? Yeah. So very logical in how we go about doing it. But what'll happen is we'll take that premium, those average premiums from $1,000 to $1,500, $1,600, $1,700, which increases your pay dramatically. And here's the thing, you're adding so much more value to the customer that they're going to be more than happy to pay that little bit extra premium. Whereas right now, if all you're doing is providing death benefit for a premium, you got one hook. If you've got 3 or 4 hooks and you take that $1,000 or $1,100 premium to $1,500, $1,800, and there's like 4 or 5 benefits, and they see this as much more comprehensive and covering way more of their needs, they're not going to cancel, and they're going to be happy to write that check. Because as we say, price is only a factor in the absence of value, right? So if you provide all that more value to them, they'll pay the extra money, and the thing is that adding all those extra products doesn't complicate or lengthen your sales process, because it's one app for all of them.
Yep. That's what I'm most excited about for producers to have that, Pope, that you're talking about. Add all of this on. You've already filled the application out. It's the same app. It's transferring over. You're talking 9 minutes too. I mean,
massive competitive advantage. Massive competitive advantage. Also, like, you know, if I'm an agent, I'm working my leads. I get a lead where somebody's already bought something from someone, assuming that they didn't buy something from our company. You know, again, the line of questioning is, if I could show you a way to get double the death benefit potentially for the same premium. Not sure if I can or not sure if you qualify, but if we could spend 10 minutes, we would know, is that something you'd be opposed to carving out 10 minutes for? If I could show you a way, would you be opposed? That line of questioning would be, you know, killer on the sales calls you guys are out there making.
Yeah. Well, I had it. Listen, how about this? I had a call last night, spent 2.5 hours on the phone with our development group, and we came up with an idea that I think it's an idea, but I think this one has some real legs. You know, that we can pre-qualify. So once we have these existing products like disability, critical illness, accident, income, you know, income products, paycheck protector, where, you know, it's say $5,000 a month for 5 years or 10 years if they die. We will be able to pre-qualify existing policyholders, shoot those to you guys and say, call these customers, they're pre-qualified. And it's a 9-minute application from start to finish to add this to their existing policy.
Yep.
And pretty soon, not to let too many cats out of bags, but you won't even have to call them.
Yeah.
We'll run them for you.
Yep.
So,
the future is bright.
The future is so bright, man. Getting excited. Thanks, Pope. We should have Pope on every week now to give us updates like this, get us all fired up.
Product side for sure.
I know.
Brandon, you know, on the DX leads too, getting some good traction on that. By the way, guys, I mean, again, we're swimming in opportunity right now, and we have a feeling we're just on the front edge of this, and so it's just a really fun opportunity together right now, because you guys are kind of, you know, everyone's helping us build this thing, and you're incentivized even more so to do that with the years. But, you know, love the feedback we're getting on the DX leads. There's going to be plenty more leads in the pipe for you guys to help us kind of trial, get off the ground. That feedback is imperative. I also love the, you know, again, it's a core value of ours, open, honest, productive feedback. The feedback is great. You know, it's like people are taking the DX leads and they're giving us the right kind of feedback, open, honest, productive feedback. And so keep that up. Anytime we can on leads like this, just like all of our leads, we're continuing to work on value-based lead pricing. So if we see that the DX leads are priced at a point where it's not giving you the right return, if the room is there, then we're going to move those leads down. If we can't, then we may pull leads like that off the shelf. But in the case of the DX leads, Brandon, early off the bat, which is, you're never going to get as good of results right early, you know, in the first few months, because things kind of take a while to build up, but we're seeing them in that similar category to the, what were we talking about this morning?
A1s. Your first level of bonus lead. It's about the same. And this was consistent through the trial period. Also, it's about the same close ratio as we're seeing through A1s.
So you got to approach it like that, right?
Yep.
You got to approach it with that kind of same expectation. You know, if it's going to get the same kind of results as that, I can't be working it like I'm, you know, working a $38 mortgage protection direct mail lead. It's going to be a little bit different result.
Yeah, and you know, here's the other thing to keep in mind, right? Like the worst results are always at first. Okay, and as we get better and we learn how to work these things, and we have tools, and we have a great tool coming online here pretty quick to really help you work these things and take a lot of the burden off you, just the grunt work. Those numbers are going to only improve. And probably the best parallel to this was the call-in leads, right?
Yep.
We had similar challenges with the call-in leads. We had people like, well, the close ratios aren't what the other ones are, blah, blah, blah. Well, now we can't produce enough of them, right? People have figured out how to work them. The digital leads are going to be the same way, right? We got to get through that learning curve. We got to figure out what's the best. And so we do need the feedback, good and bad. Like, hey, I found a real good way. It's kind of like Resma just brought up the DFL where you know, we had Todd run with the DFL with texting the leads, and all of a sudden he said 11 appointments, right?
Yep.
And I mean, like, these are the things we're going to learn along the way together, because we're all in this together, right? That then when something works and you go, oh, I found a really good thing that really works well, get us that information so that we can disseminate it, broadly. But just right now, just know the worst results we're going to get on digital leads is right now.
Yep.
It's just because it's brand new, and we're all learning how to go about these. But you're right, the expectations are critical.
I
So
think
I
that's
think
important. Yeah, I mean, it's like it's what is the expectation overall when there is a rollout or something. So we've got somebody asked, what does the X stand for? It's exchange, digital exchange leads. So we've got access to, because of partnerships that we have, hundreds of thousands of them. They're only going to get better, as you're saying, Pope. We trial things for a small amount of time because in our mind, we have the greatest salespeople on the planet. These leads, as we're seeing them come through, we know how they're being generated, and we know that our people, you guys, are going to be able to go out there and crack the code on how to make these better than anything else out there. As Casey was saying, the price may go up a little bit, the price may go down a little bit based on what the value is to you, but we trust all of you to kind of help us determine what that value is. These are not leads that we're creating in-house. These are leads that are on the market, and close ratio wise, they're very similar to that first level of bonus leads. But I think that goes in line, Casey, with some of the things you and I've been talking about on other things that we roll out, and as we roll them out. The best way to get proof of how good something can be is to get it into the hands of the best people, right? That's always our goal. Now, if we're generating and creating leads in-house, we know 100% what level of quality these things are going to be. With these, we know they're only going to get much better. But when we started off, they were at the same rate as the other leads that we're selling at the same cost. Any thoughts on that, Casey?
Just overall, we have so many things in the pipe to roll out as a company over the coming year or two. And again, as we continue to innovate with technology and products, we're going to have a lot of things to roll out. Some of them are going to be leads, some of them are going to be products, some of it's going to be technology, some of it's going to be solutions. And as you guys know, we've never claimed perfection, and we will never do that. It's a very dangerous place to live as a company to say, this is going to be it. I promise, I think the main thing is just understand that some things we're going to roll out aren't going to hit as well. Some things we're going to roll out are going to kill it. And, we're never going to claim perfection around it, but as long as we keep this entrepreneurial culture that we all have together, build it together, and we keep open, honest, productive feedback, we're going to have a lot of fun together with these things. And again, as long as we hit 7, 8 out of 10 of them, we like those odds, but yes, we're going to throw up a stink bomb or two here every once in a while.
I don't think that was a stink bomb.
No, this one certainly wasn't, but
no.
I can think of a couple over the years that we've rolled out, but again, we have such a good entrepreneurial culture of people that we're like, everyone understands that. So
yeah, these guys and gals are going to make it, if anybody can make it sing, they will. So
that's it.
All right. We've probably talked too much.
Way too much.
We've gone way too much. Ashley, I'm so sorry. Tyler, unveil, both of you. We just got carried away with so many good things that we just kept talking. I didn't know what to cut out.
Man, we've had 2 calls by now. This is good stuff.
I know.
I feel like we're just going to be overkill.
No, not at all.
And you guys are about to bring it home. Normally I can have a really long introduction, but I think I've already done all of that. Everybody knows who you guys are, what kind of gratitude we have for not only you and Tyler, but also Summer and Jordan. And I don't think I've had a chance yet to see Eleanor speak, so I'm excited about that one.
About to see.
Yeah, about to see it. But so grateful for you guys. Ashley Tarr, for those that don't know, was a dynamic producer. I think your name back in the day when you were in the field was the Terminator. You were the Terminator because you would go out and you were one of those first people that were able to show us how to go out and do $20,000 of production in a week, and you kind of were one of those early on that raised the bar and the standard of what can be and what should be. So we owe you a huge debt of gratitude for that. Seeing you partner with Tyler's getting us excited about what's coming with the recruiting experience that he brings to the table. But I'm gonna just turn it over to you guys to introduce Jordan, Eleanor, Summer, and get into the bulk of your content. So I won't take any more of your time, but really appreciate you guys. Thank you for being here with us.
Awesome. Thank you guys. It's always an honor to be on here. For time's sake, I'll dive right in. I'm excited about this. We've got a lot of content. We got a lot of people on this call, and man, I know they're going to deliver. First I want to say this is, in a lot of ways, it's a tough call to do after the events of last week. The reality is right now we're all grieving as individuals, as a team, as a company, the loss of one of our good friends, and at the same time balancing that with this reality that we're in the life-giving business. We're in a hope-giving business. And when I think of Matt Smith, he was many things, but among them, he was a shining example of what it means to be a broker of hope and a real champion of people. And that's what we're going to try our best to bring to you all today is hope and some concepts around this idea of what a champion looks like. And my hope is that it honors a man who walked that out so well with his life. I'm excited that I get to be on this call with not only some of my best friends, some really phenomenal business partners, also the love of my life. This is just a treat for me. I don't think it gets any better. So thank you, Brandon, Casey, and Brian, for really the opportunity, of course, that we have today to be on this call. That's not lost on us. We're grateful every time our team gets the opportunity to be on here and share with you all today, but really more so, especially after hearing the past hour and a half of everything that's going on and all of the new people that are succeeding and all of the innovation. Man, I am just grateful again and again and again, every call that we jump on of the opportunity that we have to play on this field. It's an incredible gift that you all, with your leadership and your innovation and your faithfulness, have offered each and every one of us. So thank you for that. You unveil just for that. Really appreciate it. We're going to be talking today about how to run it up. And we're talking about the score. Obviously, we're running it up as a company right now. Specifically, though, we want to kind of dig into what does the mind of a champion look like? Because we talk about this all of the time, that this is a game that's absolutely won and lost, but between our ears. And so if we're going to run up the score, then we each, and if you're listening, you're going to have to grow your mind into the mind of a champion. And I say grow because champions are made over time. They're not born. Not a single person has been born into champion status. It's something that's really fought for. And so that mindset of a champion is something that we each have the opportunity to fight for. And one thing that strikes me about any champion in sport that I would look at, or really anyone that's succeeded at a high level in business for that matter, I think those people understand that there is no arrival. And it ties in with what Brandon and Casey were just saying, that, hey, we're not going to do everything perfect. The last thing that we would ever say is that we've arrived, that we're going to execute perfectly in every single area. And so this call is really for everybody, whether you're Wayland or Pritchett at the very top of the organization killing the game, or whether you're the brand new agent, maybe you're not even through licensing yet. This call is for you, because what a champion knows is, even if I won the championship game last year, then come fall or come the start of your season, you start back over and you're at the same place of everybody else. And you've got to do it over and over and over again. So every single one of us has the opportunity today to move one step closer to the next level that we want to achieve in this business and in life, and just keep running the ball down the field, keep leveling up, keep running up that score. and ultimately running up legacy. So I want to introduce our first guest. This lady is, she's a new entry to my life, but she has made a big impact really right away. When I think about Eleanor Jansen, I think of authenticity and I think of strength. And, you know, in every conversation that I've had with her, these two things just kind of permeate through her being, through her words. And I think it's so interesting because she speaks and she lives with strength, not because she's trying to wear it, not because she's trying to put it on, but because she lives from such an authentic place that her words carry an extreme amount of weight. And so I think it's appropriate that her topic today is a champion understands that this opportunity is not for the chosen few, but it's for the few that choose. So Eleanor, I want to turn it over to you. Excited to hear what you have to say.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks so much, Ashley. So introducing myself to you guys all, I'm Eleanor Jansen, direct to my amazing mother-in-law, Susan Jansen. It's such an honor to represent my agency, the Shank Agency, Jordan Shank, my awesome, amazing coach, and especially to share the platform with Tyler, Ashley, and Summer. You guys are incredible. Just meeting you at Altitude Conference and being able to connect with you one-on-one was just, you know, the highlight of my time there for sure. I would also just say, you know, by extension, you guys all have been what Brandon, Casey, and Brian have really set up and created for us all. And so even though I haven't had the pleasure of meeting them yet, I know that what you've created is an extension of their mission and their goals here. So really grateful for them and for what they've really allowed me to do. Essentially what I'm talking about today is kind of dispelling a myth about coming in and winning fast, winning big out of the gate. And that is, the system is there, it's put in place for us. You know, when we come into this business, I came into it with no financial background, no insurance license. And it was really a radical decision to be a part of something that I knew not really what I was stepping into. And I remember thinking, you know, so much is unknown to me, but the one thing that is known to me is my ability to kind of have a framework around my mindset before I even get started. And so it was one of just being a doer, not a thinker. I have an operational consulting background. So if anyone was going to come in and pick apart something, my mind would have been the first person to do that. And I saw very quickly that people who were winning in this field and who were succeeding, who also believed in it and had been doing it for many, many years, all went back to the same thing. You know, you buy your leads, you do your dials, you have massive activity, and you plug into your huddles, your resources, Altitude Conference, National Conference, plug into the leadership around you to really take away or set up the framework to take away a nugget of gold in each one of those encounters. So that was very apparent to me from the get-go. I also just really felt this immense kind of understanding that committing to a mindset about how I was going to handle setbacks, because it was clear that certain people, you know, if you're in this career long enough, you're going to experience them, but having just a mindset around choosing to stay in the game, choosing to claim this for myself, and kind of making that choice before any obstacle came up was a huge game changer for me. Because even though I've only been here for 120 days, I can say that it's had its ups and downs. And it's really interesting to think about going back to that mindset when I first started, how that's really served me and been like my North Star in my commitment to this business and commitment to working it out. I also think, you know, a huge part of the commitment involves renewing it and making sure that at every stage of the game and every season, whatever is your next goal or your next achievement, that you're really committed and focused on just renewing it. It's not ever going to just stay stationary. You know, oftentimes we think that motivation lasts and it really doesn't. And I think when you think about the framework that we lean on when we lack motivation or we lack vision for what our next goal is, it is our Symmetry system. And so for me, I'm very grateful for the framework and the wisdom that put that in place. But then I'm also very aware that what's required of me at this point in the game is to always be consistent in showing up and showing up in choice for whatever the circumstances may bring. And I think when you also hear some of the stories you're going to hear today from the people who speak after me, that their choice had to be renewed at some point as well. And so it's just kind of understanding that this is a journey, it's a process, but what it looks like to kind of take a hold of the opportunity, lay claim to it, so to speak, right out the gate, means being in choice about every aspect. And that's whether it's buying the leads or dialing 3 times until you get a hold of someone. It's really honoring that system and running the play, so to speak. So yeah, I think that that's, exemplified by some of the people that are going to share after me. Their story of longevity and their story of lasting success really demonstrates that over time. And it's been, my pleasure to exercise that in my first, couple months here. So very grateful for that.
Yeah, spoken from someone, by the way, who hit SNA in her first week, who has not officially, but the numbers are there, qualified for the destination trip, we believe, through her production and her first 90 days in the business. So Eleanor, so proud of the way that you have come in and grabbed this thing by the horns and done the work to make all of those things happen. It's rare that someone can come in and identify themselves, not as someone that's chosen necessarily, but someone that's committed to doing the work of this business and seeing just how good you can be. And you're still in that process, and the future is very, very bright for you, friend. It's going to be really fun to watch you walk that out. Thanks for sharing. Want to pivot now to Jordan Shank, and Jordan Shank's no stranger to this stage, no stranger to the Symmetry family. And one thing about Jordan that I have noticed since the beginning, when he first started here with us, spring of 2016, I believe it was, is Jordan is about as consistent as they come. And I mean that from work and effort to attitude. You always know what you're going to get with Jordan. And, Jordan, for myself as a leader, that's a gift. For your team, that's a gift, that stability that you offer through your consistency. And, one of the reasons I think consistency is present in your leadership is that you operate from this place of intention and strategy. You don't leave a whole lot to accident. And, I think it's very appropriate that you're going to be talking about the mindset of a champion and this reality that a champion practices and plays with strategic intention, because that's exactly what you do. So I'm going to turn the mic over to you.
Well, thank you very much, Ash. Jordan Shank, direct to Ashley Tarr and Tyler Harris, and could not be more grateful to be so part of the Danny Young organization. And Ashley, Tyler, just thank you both for your leadership, for your friendship. And it is just an absolute joy to be on this call. And sometimes I just can't believe we get to do this thing called work with some of our best friends. So also just want to say, a debt of gratitude to Casey and Brandon and Brian for just the incredible system and culture that you've created. It's because of that, that people like myself and people like Eleanor and people like so many people in this company and on this call, the 1,500 or however many are winning and are succeeding. And so massive thank you and gratitude to you all. I don't think we can talk about the mindset of a champion without talking about the mental side of winning, specifically without talking about preparation. Very simply put, someone who is committed to success, someone who has made that commitment to win, is someone who has committed to strategically and intentionally developing their craft. And said another way, exactly kind of what Ashley was referring to, a champion, regardless of the field, whether that's in sport, whether that's in a particular industry or field of study, practices and plays with intention. And so we've all heard this phrase, right? Success happens. There's a couple iterations of it. Success happens when preparation meets opportunity. I just want to say, guys, if you've been on this call for the last hour and a half, like the opportunity is here, y'all. Like it has arrived. There's no more waiting around for this mysterious opportunity to present itself. And thanks to the system that we have in place, thanks to Brandon, Brian, Casey, and really the entire team working at the home office, working behind the scenes to pull this off, this opportunity is no longer knocking at the door. It is pounding down the door for the folks that are willing to prepare. And so my question and my challenge to you all is, what are you doing now to position yourself to take advantage of all that is to come and all that we as a company have to offer? You know, practice and playing with intention is something that Malcolm Gladwell, he's an author and writer, refers to as deliberate practice. He says, success has to do with deliberate or intentional practice. Practice has to be focused, which is working on a specific skill or technique, and it has to be determined with a very clear objective in mind and in an environment where there's feedback. I love that description of what it takes to win. Deliberate practice that's focused, determined, and an environment where there's feedback. We call that here at Symmetry massive action and constant correction. Every single one of us, the reality is every single one of us is preparing for something. You know, the results that we are getting in our business today are the direct results of the choices that we made, of the work that we focused on, and how deliberately we have developed ourselves. In other words, it's the process of preparation that sets us up to receive the results of our preparation, whether that be good or bad. Deliberate practice allows us to take ownership of the results. It allows us to take ownership of our business because it puts the control of the one thing that we control, ourselves. You know, when we practice our skills, whether they be hard skills like salesmanship or closing or assumptive, or maybe some of the broader skills that are required to win, like leadership or development of people, those broader skills. Either way, when we practice those skills, we control the uncontrollable. When we control the things that so often are uncontrollable in life. And so deliberate practice, requires a tremendous amount of humility. It requires a tremendous deal of self-awareness because it puts us in a position to face the reality of the ways that we need to grow and the ways that we need to develop, areas where our performance and our business need to level up to what they're capable of. And if we're willing to press into this, if we're willing to engage with this process of practice to get uncomfortable, it'll help us measurably improve our skills. And here's why I think this is so important. Intentional practice creates confidence. It creates confidence. Confidence is so key in this business. This whole idea of fake it until you make it only goes so far, right? People, whether that be agents that we're recruiting and trying to bring on board, whether that be clients that we're working with over Zoom, they're attracted to folks that are confident. They're attracted to conviction. They are attracted to the level of belief that you have in what you're selling and to the level of belief that you have in this system. And that can't be faked or forced. It has to be authentic. It has to be real. And the way to develop that kind of confidence is through repetition. When it's not game time, it's by intentionally honing your skills when no one's looking. It's when no one's paying attention. It's the role playing with your coach. I love that Quility has added into the Quility U an opportunity for you to send a recording of yourself following the script to your coach or mentor. That's taking exactly what we're talking about and putting it deep into the fabric of the company. It's listening to yourself back. It's coaching and mentorship. It's the often overlooked and maybe even unappreciated moments that no one ever sees. Intentional practice allows skills to become automatic. You know, part of being a great athlete is actually not thinking. Like the more you think about something, the actually slower you are. And, you know, if you think about this in the terms of athletics, where speed is the name of the game, if you're spending all your time just thinking about something, you aren't reacting real time to what's actually happening in the game that you're in. So by intentionally practicing, we develop the skills that we need for those skills to become automatic. You know, I've heard it said many times, we don't rise to the level of our talent, but we fall to the level of our preparation. And I think in Giant Language, or here at Quility with Brian Williamson, he calls this unconscious competence, where it can only be achieved through consistent and really focused effort. Lastly, intentional practice really keeps our goal in focus. It really keeps where we're going and what our objective is in focus. We don't just practice for the sake of practicing. We don't just prepare for the sake of preparing. We're not just doing this so that we're a glutton for punishment, right? We practice to improve our skills in a specific area so that we're able to help more families. We're able to have a bigger impact on more agents' lives. We're able to have an Eleanor Jansen out here absolutely crushing it. She is, by the skills she's developed, she's able to go out and have a much bigger impact. And deliberate and intentional practice, the last thing I'll wrap here is it's never a substitute for getting in the game. It's never a substitute for getting into the game. So many people just want to say, I'm getting ready, I'm getting ready, I'm getting ready, right? And they never actually get in the game. You can be as practiced as you want, but at some point you've got to get in the game. And when success comes, when preparation meets opportunity, the good news is that we create that opportunity here. And we do that by getting in the game. It's not this elusive myth that's, floating around and only opportunity descends on some people. It's all around and we create it. And so I'd like to wrap up today with this short time I get to have with you all by sharing something I recently found online. And it was an interview with someone you all may know. His name is Tom Brady. And it's an older interview, but it really struck home because this interviewer was reading back to Tom his draft report card from early in his career. And here is how his draft report card described Tom Brady. It said, Tom Brady has poor build, he's skinny, he lacks great physical stature and strength, he lacks mobility and the ability to avoid a rush, he lacks a really strong arm, can't drive the ball downfield, does not throw a really tight spiral, system type player who can get exposed if forced to ad-lib, gets knocked down easily. And when the interviewer turns to him and says, what goes on your mind? What goes through your mind now when you hear that read back to you? And he said this, he said, it gets me fired up because they don't know what's inside. See, what's impossible to show from a draft report card is what's inside and what he's willing to do to develop himself to be the greatest. Using this system, greatness is possible for every single person on this call who is willing to put in the work to practice and develop themselves into that person. So I'm internally grateful for this company and this system. Ashley and Tyler, I'll turn it over to you and just appreciate the opportunity to be here.
Woo, that had some heat on it. Really, really good stuff, Jordan. Man, so good. I wish we had more time to just dive into each one of these points. Gosh, I want to go ahead and intro the next individual here. And I could say so much about this lady as well. Summer leads with confidence and clarity. And that's something that she has earned through tackling the temptation towards insecurity and comparison in her own life, as was true for myself. And I'm sure for many of you listening, that's a constant battle that so many people fight. The result of her really leaning in to tackle that is she is a leader who knows who she is. And because of that, she's able to authentically offer herself to her team and to the rest of the company. And so she's going to be talking today about this reality that a champion sees peers as an opportunity for competition, not comparison. So Summer, I'm going to turn it over to you.
Awesome. Thank you, Ashley. Just grateful and honored to be on this call. Thank you, Brandon, Brian, and Casey, just for everything that's already been mentioned. I'm so grateful to be here, be a part of this thing. My name is Summer Friesen, direct to Ashley Tarr, part of the Danny Young hierarchy. What a time to be in this business. So excited to be on this call. Jordan, Eleanor, that was awesome. Tyler, Ashley, can't wait to hear what else you have to share, but I'm going to jump into it. As Ashley mentioned, the mindset of a champion, you can see peers as an opportunity for competition and collaboration in a healthy way, or you can see them as an opportunity for comparison. And I love that Jordan touched on speed and really what's inside, because when I first started in this business, I was coming from an industry that I'd been in for 10 years or so. And so doing something new, I was far outside of my comfort zone. And so while I came in, 100% without a plan B, I let some things kind of take root and take some major hits to my confidence. in general towards myself, towards the business, and also towards my peers. And here's what happens when our foundation and our confidence is rattled, right? We can start to view people that are winning more than us in any particular area. So it might be on the phones, in APV, in recruiting, in their speed of advancing in leadership as a threat. And an area of weakness in us can take root and really breed insecurity and sometimes even resentment. And so we have to protect our mindset and control the narratives that we allow to take root. I'm sure if any of you have been on any kind of social media, you've seen those Instagram versus reality comparisons, right? And what we fail to realize, though, is that we tend to put those same types of filters on how we see others' journeys and their successes, right? But the reality is we have no idea what the full story is. We don't know what kind of time, energy, effort they've put in, what background they come from, what experience and history of success and likely failure, right, that they've actually walked through and learned from and brought to the table. So we see the final product, which is really just kind of a manicured glimpse, all tied up in a bow and shiny on a leaderboard. And then we say begrudgingly, like, oh, good for them. Well, that must be nice, right? Anybody ever been there? But the reality and the truth is that we cannot champion others from a place of comparison. I'm sure you've heard the quote, comparison is a thief of joy. And so if you find yourself kind of reading through whatever platform your team uses, Slack, maybe GroupMe, whatever it is, and you find yourself unable to champion your teammates, take a step back and think about why that is. Because what I know is that comparison will steal, kill, destroy culture, unity, joy, all of the good things and amazing things that this business as operating as a healthy team has to offer. This business is so much better when we make the active decision to see our peers here as an opportunity for collaboration, for celebration, for challenge, for a healthy dose of competition instead of comparison. And one of the loose definitions of healthy competition is the interaction between individuals that promotes and fosters striving for higher achievements, yet creates an environment where everyone in the group hopes that everyone will do well rather than wish that others fail. One of the practical tools that I've used and that has really helped to reframe my thinking and shift my focus has been the 5 voices. And so if you've ever been around here, if you've been around here very long at all, I'm sure you've heard Brian Williamson or your leaders talk about the 5 voices. And if you don't know, this is a powerful tool. You can kind of go and take an assessment at 5voices.com. But one of the reasons it's so powerful is because, one, you have to know yourself to lead yourself, right? But also, you need to understand and champion others and their strengths. So a mindset shift for me that's been a game changer in this business is that, when I came into this business, I came into it with some people that were wired very differently than me. My upline, Ashley, is on here, my running buddy, and some of my closest peers were actually all wired more similarly to each other. And so there was a period of time in this business where my narrative started to become like, man, I'm wired really differently than them. Maybe I don't belong here. Like, maybe my voice isn't valuable. Maybe I don't fit. And I really allowed that to take root and hold me back and take me off of the fast track here. And so here's my challenge. Rather than viewing people that have different strengths than ours as a threat to our own security and our own confidence, make the conscious choice to celebrate that strength. And in fact, utilize it, right? Like, we have such a gift in the culture that's been created here and cultivated here. So instead of viewing my own, weaker voices from a place of comparison, I can really choose to harness the power of team and rely on my running buddy, Alex Wagoner, to carry the torch of being a connector, which she does so well. And, thank the Lord, I can lean on and learn from Ashley's gift of casting a vision and pioneering new initiatives that are not my natural lane. So lean in to your team and plug into your leaders and make every effort to avoid the trap of comparison and choose to be a champion of others. It will really only sharpen you and make you better. I want to leave you with just a few practical tools to combat the comparison trap if you feel it sneaking in, like I know we all can. The first one is gratitude. And gratitude is a massive tool for combating unhealthy comparison. Appreciation really takes our focus off of the things that we can't control, and it redirects our energy to the things that truly matter. The second thing would be to take note of your strengths. What's good? Like, what's working well? What do you bring to the table that you're able to offer others? We all have something unique to offer. And the third thing would be, if we're going to compare ourselves to anything, and Eleanor touched on the personal growth development here, let the biggest comparison be me versus me, really, like who I was today versus who I was yesterday. Because, we talk here about the 3 A's. The only things that we can really control are our own activity, our own attitude, and our association. So really the only comparison and true measure of success that makes sense is kind of versus ourselves. And it took far too long for me to learn this lesson here, but somebody else's success does not take away from my growth or my trajectory here. And here's what I love about the foundation that Brandon, Brian, and Casey have built this company on. Not only culturally, that's incredible, but as a business structure, right? Just because your piece of the pie gets bigger, mine does not get smaller. In fact, if you've paid any attention to this company at all, ears, all the things that are going on, the massive innovation, the opposite is true. Like, where else can you go where that's the case? So let's just really cultivate the mindset and culture of healthy competition, leveraging the greater team and other strengths to level up and champion others well. I'll pass it back to you, Ashley.
Gosh, such good stuff. All three of you so far. Just, it's so powerful, the content delivery, because it is actually what you've lived and what you live out on a daily basis. So really, really well done. Thought-provoking stuff. Summer, thank you for that. It's my pleasure now to introduce my favorite person on the planet. I'm gonna try not to be too mushy right here, but the reality is I love this man with my whole heart, and I learn from him every single hour of every day. It has been an incredible almost 2 years now that he's been in my life, and hands down, he's sharpened me more than anyone else in my life has. And one of the reasons for that is that I would classify him as a humble giant. That this man is as big and capable and aggressive and talented as they come. And he's also going to be the first one to take ownership when something goes wrong. He's going to be the first one to check himself before he starts checking other people for mistakes. And I think in leadership, we would consider that servant leadership for sure, but there's nothing more attractive to me than a leader who is confident enough to be incredibly humble and approach life and leadership that way. So Tyler, I'm grateful for you for so many reasons. But I think it's very appropriate as well that the topic that he's going to be covering today is this reality that a champion focuses on their own score, but celebrates the teams. So Tyler, I'll pass it to you.
Thank you, Ashley. First and foremost, just want to express massive gratitude, and even more so, just massive respect to Brian, Casey, Brandon. I've often said I'd rather be in a bad deal with good people than a good deal with bad people. And I love the fact that we're on here talking about a championship mindset or a champion's mindset, because we're on a championship team, and we've got champions in people and leaders and founders. So I could not be more blessed to be here with Symmetry. We talk about equity appreciation rights and how incredible it is, but I feel like I've won the lottery to be able to work alongside the love of my life, which is Ashley Tarr. And so that in of itself makes every day Just incredible here. And the fact that we get to do this incredible career together is amazing. I want to ask everybody for their permission. And that is their permission to possibly provide a little bit of tough love. But I think it's going to be a unique perspective on the championship mindset or champions mindset that we all really need, whether we're killing the game right now or just getting started or somewhere in between. The reality is Symmetry Financial Group, like, we're winning. We're winning at a high level. We're winning at a level that none of us have ever seen, no less experienced. And so many of us tend to jump on these national calls each week, and we look at the leaderboards and we see all these people just absolutely crushing it across the country. But I want to present a challenge to each and every person on this call. It is possible to be losing while on a winning team. Let me say that one more time. It's possible to be losing while on a winning team. This company and your team's momentum and excitement, it should create confidence in you, knowing that you're in the right place at the right time. But don't let it create a false confidence that you're doing better than you actually are, especially when it comes to your personal production, but most importantly, your activity level. Your integrity in this business, I would define as the difference between who you say you are and who you really are. And we prove that every single day here in this business with our activity, with the actions, with our level of execution on the things that we know that we're supposed to do. I was a wrestler growing up. I started wrestling when I was 5 years old and wrestled all over the country. But in relation to what we're doing here, wrestling is an interesting sport because it's an individual sport, but it's also a team sport. So you can be on the very best team, like a state championship team. Guess what? You can still lose every single match. The reverse, though, is also true. You can be on an absolutely terrible team and you can go on to win an individual state championship. Both of those scenarios are completely dependent on the work that you put in. It's not like football where you've got 10 other people on the field that can kind of pick up your slack when you need them to. When you step onto the wrestling mat, it's you and your opponent. And all of the blood, sweat, and tears that you've put into practice in the off season, it will be exposed in those 6 minutes of that match. When I started high school, I had recently moved to South Carolina, which was not a big wrestling state compared to Pennsylvania, Ohio, and all the other places that I had lived before. And unfortunately, my team was not great. They were actually pretty terrible. But I was determined to be a state champion. I wasn't challenged at practice really, so I started coming early, staying late. I would actually drive to other schools that weren't in our division and practice with them. I'd attend every camp around the country that I could convince my parents to let me go to. But I was doing what I had to do to prepare for the goal that I was focused on achieving. So a few questions that I have for everyone on this call. You guys are all on a championship team. This company is setting records and will continue to disrupt the industry in a way that's never been seen before. Jordan mentioned earlier, I think it was Zig Ziglar originally that said it, success occurs when opportunity meets preparation. So my questions for you guys, are you prepared? Are you putting in the work that is required? As this company continues to crush goals and win at the highest level, will you? For many of you, the answer is yes. For some of you, it's heck yes. But for those of you that would answer no or answer I'm not sure, please make the decision today to put yourself in a position to experience everything that this company has to offer. Reach out to your upline and have what I would call a hot conversation, hot being humble, open, and transparent, but create a plan of attack to get you on the right track. I'm never a fan of the phrase, opportunity of a lifetime, which a lot of us would say this is, and quite frankly, it is. But I do know this, an opportunity of this magnitude rarely knocks twice. So please, I implore you, put in the work now so that you'll be able to say down the road, man, I'm so glad I did, versus, boy, I wish I had. That's it for me. I'll pass it back to you, Ashley.
So good. Such a good challenge. And the reality is, team, that's probably something that we should check ourselves on at least every day, if not multiple times a day, because I know for myself, it's easy to let your foot off the gas just a little bit in increments. And before you know it, you're not anywhere near as devoted and clear and impassioned as you were. That's something that can slip in the mundane of this business without us recognizing it, if we're not pretty vigilant to hold that mirror up and keep checking. So thank you for that, Tyler. The last point here, guys, that I want to unpack for us today is this. A champion knows that this business is about earns, not deserved. A champion knows this business is about what you earn, not what you deserve. And I want you to hang on to your seat here for a second, because what I'm about to say might seem a bit jarring at first, but give me a moment to kind of explain what I'm getting at here. When something is deserved, the giver is obligated and the receiver is entitled. When you deserve something, the person that gives it was obligated to give it to you, and the receiver is entitled. So you can't actually earn a reward, or you can't earn a victory and be obligated to receive something at the same time, right? You can't be owed a payment and received a gift at the same time. The two have to be separate. So some examples that are maybe easier for us to kind of wrap our minds around before we apply it to this business. Let's talk about love. This is an easy one for me. I have my fiance, Tyler, on the call with me here. Tyler is thoughtful, he's detailed, he's generous, he's lavish in the way that he loves me. Is that something that I deserve? Now, a lot of people would knee-jerk a yes to that, right? I would say I'm worthy of love. I don't deserve anything. I don't deserve love, and I actually can't deserve love, because that would mean Tyler is obligated to love me, and that defeats the whole point, right? Tyler can't actually love me, which is a free gift, if it's something that he's obligated to give or to do or to be for me, right? So the reality is, I don't deserve that. It's something that's freely given. All right. Think about another example would be compliments, right? I don't deserve a compliment. Friend of mine, Jamie Cece, texted me a couple of minutes ago when we first popped on the thing, and she's like, "Girl, you look gorgeous." And like, it would be silly for me to think that I deserve that compliment, right? That's nothing. It's not something that we deserve. That's something that was freely given. That was a gift that I can receive, right? And so a certain lifestyle, a certain level of income, that's not something that I deserve. It's not something that you deserve. It's something that you earn. And so we've got to switch our mindset from understanding that we don't deserve anything here in this business. We don't deserve anything in this life. There are things that we don't deserve. We don't deserve to be mistreated. We don't deserve to be abused. We don't deserve those kinds of things, but we don't deserve the good things in life. We either earn those things or they're given to us as gifts. And a champion understands the difference there. And that one thing will shift the entirety of the way that you approach this business if you really get it. So let's break it down into some examples that we can probably all identify with in the business. Let's talk about things that we earn first. We don't deserve full-time income here with this opportunity. We earn it through full-time effort, right? We don't deserve to be on the leaderboard. We earn it by doing the work and putting up numbers that place us there. We don't deserve recognition. We earn that by doing the right things long enough. And if you've not been recognized yet, you don't deserve it. You earn that, and you're going to earn it over time. You don't deserve a standing lead order. That's something that you earn by putting some apps in and demonstrating that you're willing to do the work of this business. You don't deserve time with your mentor. Lots of people come in with that mentality, and it's dangerous. There's a demand that you place on someone else's time. That's something that you actually earn here. And you've got free license to earn as much of it as you want to earn, because I promise you they're gonna dish it out. If you're hungry, if you're humble, if you're smart, if you're a good steward of their time, they're gonna offer it freely. You don't deserve to have a fast learning curve. That's something, like Jordan said earlier, you earn that through massive action and constant correction. You don't deserve vacation time here. This ain't a W-2, kids, right? Like, this is a 1099, and the way that you get vacation time is you earn it. You earn it through hard work, and you earn it through scheduling. You don't earn a certain dollar or deserve a certain dollar amount in your bank account. You earn that through hard work and the discipline of delayed gratification here in this business. So these are all things that we can actually earn over time. But if we have this I deserve narrative up in our mindset, it's going to block it. It's going to block our growth. It's going to block our ability to actually run after those things. Let's talk about some examples of things that are given here. That, to be honest, you can't receive these things if you think you deserve them. The first thing that you're given is your client's trust. You don't deserve that. You don't deserve that. They give it to you or they don't. And it's your job to get better at the process, or maybe it's a heart issue where you've got to work on the genuineness of your own heart. And that in and of itself is what would enable them to trust you, right? You don't deserve your team's respect. That's something that's given based on what they see in you, and it's given freely. That can't be a compulsive thing. You don't deserve affirmation. You don't deserve edification as a leader. That's something that's given if you're leading well, if you're leading in a way that's worthy of those words. You don't deserve influence. Guys, this is not a positional thing. That's something, again, there's probably a piece of it that you earn, but ultimately, like, influence is given. It's not an obligation that people have to offer you. You don't deserve the mic around here. That's why I know all of us, we're so grateful to be on this call today, because we know we don't deserve it. We understand it's a gift to be on here. It's been given to us. And quite frankly, this opportunity that we have, like, this is something that's been given to us. Not one of us deserved this opportunity. We didn't show up here deserving of this thing called Symmetry, that it's a gift. And so, you know, when a champion really understands that this is a game of earns and not deserves, I think these are some of the things that are going to be fixed. But there's 5 things I would encourage you to write down that I think entitlement, the spirit of entitlement, or the narrative of I deserve, will create in your life, that are going to be toxic and lead to stagnation, or really the destruction of your business over time. The first one is that entitlement promotes your laziness. Entitlement promotes your laziness. So, you know, if you're entitled, you're going to expect input without output. And you're going to try to rely on your talent, maybe your experience, your personality, your upbringing, whatever the case may be, to win here. You can't do that here. You've got to really rebuke entitlement and choose the mind of a champion. A champion has zero expectation of output from a system without input to the system. There would be no expectation in the mind of a champion to not put anything into this thing called Symmetry and expect a big W on the other side. A champion doesn't think that way. Number 2, entitlement dulls your hunger. Entitlement dulls your hunger. It would make you expect success in this business to chase you rather than you chasing after it. Entitlement says this thing should come to me. I don't have to go to it. It's going to dull your hunger to fight for the more. A champion lives hungry. The third thing, entitlement robs your fulfillment. This is where you would expect an outcome without commensurate effort. And I don't know about you, but like if I watch a game, call it a football game, and the score is just like run up and it's, you know, I don't even know, let's say it's 46-0. Like that's not a fulfilling game. You think as a player that game is as fulfilling to play as a nail biter, as a game that goes into multiple overtimes? No. Entitlement robs you of fulfillment because there's an expected outcome without effort that would match that. A champion is fulfilled by leaving it all on the field. And honestly, a champion can even lose and have left it all on the field and feel extremely fulfilled about that because it's about effort. It's not about the title. Number 4, entitlement eliminates your ownership. And this is a big one because we talk so much about the incredible opportunity I think we have here as a part of the Symmetry team to actually have ownership of our business. But I think a lot of us, well, I wouldn't say a lot of us, the tension in that is to have an expectation that you're going to assume 0% responsibility for the pain of the process and 100% responsibility for the pleasure of the prize. Like you want all of the great things that Symmetry has to offer, but you don't want to have to take responsibility or go through the hard stuff. It's not the way a champion thinks. A champion understands we're not entitled to anything, but rather they're going to assume radical ownership of everything. Because if you own your mistakes, you know, that's the only way you can own the victory. If you own the challenges, that's the only way you can own the breakthrough. Number 5, entitlement holds your gratitude hostage. A couple of us have talked about gratitude here today. You know, you can't receive with gratitude what you believe that you're deserving of. You can't receive anything with a grateful heart that you think you deserve. You can't be both grateful and entitled. One sees a payment for a debt and the other sees a gift freely given. And so a champion is endlessly grateful for every opportunity they've been given. They're grateful. If you hear Tom Brady, for example, after a game, he's going to be grateful for his coach. He's grateful for his team. He's grateful for the supporting cast. He's grateful for the competition. Like that a champion is going to list off all of these things after their performance that they're grateful for, because there's zero entitlement about that. But if we get entitled and we start thinking that we deserve a certain outcome here, then there goes our chance, our shot at gratitude right out the window. And as we close today, you know, I think my challenge to you is to decide that you're never going to tell yourself that you're entitled to anything again. Just throw that word deserve out the window. Go earn it so you can actually enjoy the heck out of it. You know, go make it happen so that it's actually fulfilling for you. And if it's something that's been given to you as a gift, then also enjoy the heck out of that and be exceptionally grateful for it. But, you know, one thing that I know none of us deserve is this team that we're all a part of here at Symmetry. And I said that a minute ago. I don't think I can say it enough. Every time that I'm on these calls and I'm hearing the owners talk about the amazing things that they're doing, not just in this company, but in this industry. And I realize the fact that all of us kind of collided here from a time standpoint with them. And we have the opportunity to hitch ourselves onto that train and honestly not do a whole lot, but plug and play. But function with massive action and constant correction and make this thing happen. It's one of the most lavish and legacy gifts that we could ever be given. And I think I can speak for all of us today that we are grateful, like Tyler said, to be on a championship team. What I know is the single best expression of our gratitude is our stewardship of this gift. It's going to be our wholehearted work and our personal ownership and our rejection of entitlement to get after this thing with our whole heart. So let's do that and get after it and run the score up through the end of the year. We still got some time left. Like Casey was saying, we've got multiple records that we aim to break. And each one of us has the opportunity to participate in that. So thanks again for the opportunity, guys, to be on the call today. We're fired up to be a part. We got the silent claps going on.
I don't, Brian, you go. I'm not speaking after that. That was church. That was awesome.
Exactly. I just think the practicality that you brought and the passion is setting us out to persevere, man. I'm ready based on what y'all shared. It was a privilege to tune in today. Thanks so much, guys.
Killed
it. Thank you, guys.
Crushed it. All right. Enjoy the day.